Randall White.
Good morning, everyone. Great to have you with us on this final day of September. It is the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. I'm your host, Randall White. Yeah, September the 30th, joined by the lovely and talented Patty Pyburn. Hello, Patty.
Hello, good morning. Happy Sunday.
Yes, and so if it is September 30th, that means it is the culmination of California Wine Month. Mm-hmm. Which does not mean you have to stop drinking California wine.
It's a reason to drink, I think.
It's a reason to go out and celebrate, right? It is the final day. And then as with all of the different celebrations going on throughout the state for California Wine Month, the big one, the closer-outer, is Sunset Savor, the Central Coast, which, let me tell you, we happen to be in San Luis Obispo, and last night, trying to get a dinner table at any of the sort of fresh local restaurants, because that's what's on everyone's mind that's going to Savor.
Right.
It was close to impossible. I can't remember the last time that Novo, which is right on Higuera Street here in San Luis, that I've gone in there and the wait was an hour and 45 minutes. I mean, that's just not typical, you know?
Like, where am I?
I know. Yeah. Am I in LA? Am I in New York? No, I'm in San Luis Obispo, and there's a long wait. That's because people from LA and San Francisco are down or up this way, depending on where you're coming from, to experience Savor. And boy, there is a long list of celebrity chefs that are at Savor. We talked with Ted Allen on the phone a little bit earlier. And one celebrity chef that will be there today with cooking demonstrations and book signings and all that sort of thing is celebrity chef Nathan Lyon. And he joins us in studio right now. Welcome to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
You know, I was watching some of your videos on... I don't have cable. Is that weird?
I actually think it's starting to become more normal.
Actually, I don't have cable. Is that weird?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I'm on cable, but I'm also on PBS. So we're coming into our 4th season of PBS. And one of the things I like to do, in addition to what's happening at Savor, is when you cook and you speak with people, you build community and you work with farmers. And that's really the trade secret of being a great chef, is using the best, freshest, most seasonal ingredients.
Right. And that is something that has developed in California over the last 30 years or so. I mean, a lot of people targeted all the way back to the opening of Chez Panisse by Alice Waters. Is that pretty much the standard thought that sort of started the menu based on what's in season?
Well, it's interesting because when I have 2 shows going on right now, Growing a Greener World on PBS, which you can watch for free through the internet, and another one, exactly,
I
right?
like that. You just got my attention.
It's a good 4-letter F word. Free is a good one. Food, of course, is another one. So that's what a free sample is at a farmer's market. And the other one is on a network called Varia Living called Good Food America. And we traveled all around America, and we went to different restaurants that support the local food purveyors. And you can be in the middle of nowhere and still find a really great restaurant, mom and pop owned. And that's what it's really all about community.
Isn't it? I love that. In fact, just the other day, well, it was after the show. We were all wandering around downtown looking for a place to eat, and there were, you know, sometimes you can just clearly someone is a group is a tour, you know, tourists.
It's all about the pants. You can just tell from the pants.
And so I saw this group, and they were standing around talking, and one of the people in the group said, well, I think just on the outskirts of town, there's that Olive Garden. And I thought,
oh, wow.
What? You know, and nothing against Olive Garden.
No, but there's just so many great choices here for diversity and local and
what if you're visiting, if you're touring, and, you know, maybe if you live here and you want to mix it up and, you know, try something that you don't have every day, you might go out to Olive Garden or something. But it just surprised me that someone would think on those lines.
Well, I mean, people only know what they know, and you know, when you're familiar with something, that's what you're drawn to. And what I'm finding is that, you know, since convenience at the end of World War II, you know, when we started going to frozen packaged food, and convenience comes at a price, and I think that we're experiencing that right now as a nation, like the obesity rates and things that are very much geared toward, I don't want to say it's completely responsible, but packaged food, fast food has a lot to do with that. And now there's this wonderful national backlash that's happening.
Yeah.
And you can find it everywhere in the U.S., and that's why farmers markets are growing exponentially. Young farmers, I mean, right here at UC Davis, you know, different things about sustainable. You can get a master's degree
in sustainability.
In sustainability with farming and organics, and now big things like the GMO vote that's coming on with,
Yeah.
with Proposition 37.
Right.
It's happening in
Right,
November.
right.
You know, Nathan, we're having on the show 1 month from now, the 28th of October, we are having the woman who spearheaded the 37 proposition will be sitting probably right where you are.
I will keep the seat warm for her.
And then we have a professor on the other side from UC Davis who's a geneticist, and he's going to give the argument for that side, which I've made very clear as the host of this show. I am on the pro Prop 37 side.
Sure.
The LA Times just came out with a story this last week saying that looks like it's going to pass, that even with the millions, 30 plus million dollars
Correct.
that the large companies have put into the no campaign,
Yeah.
it still looks like it's about 6 out of 10 people voting
For.
saying yes. Yeah.
Well, it's over 90% of the people across the nation want
Yeah.
to know what's in their food, and it's not that. I mean, from my perspective, I am pro knowing what's in my food also.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying that genetically modified foods are bad. I'm
Me
just
neither.
saying if
Yeah.
it's in there, I
You
want to know
wanna
it's
know.
in there. And interestingly enough, a lot of the companies that are throwing tens of millions of dollars toward the against also own a lot of organic companies, because what's
Yes.
happening right now in the nation is that processed food is dwindling, but organic food is growing. So if you want to survive in this nation and when it comes to food, you have to get to where things are growing exponentially, and organics, unprocessed foods, whole foods, things that our great grandparents ate, things that we know as food, that the only ingredient that I would eat is, like, if I'm going to eat an egg, I want it to just say egg. Right?
Right.
I don't want it to say hydrogenated, high
Right.
fructose corn syrup. I'm like, it's just an egg. Can't you just eat the egg? And that's one of the things I'm sharing today at Savor the Central Coast. It's just really a wonderful opportunity to get to know your friends, to get to know the farmers, to get to know this area, which is absolutely stunning. You guys get to wake up every day
Aren't we lucky?
and look at this. It is really beautiful. And if you can't make it today, and you just happen to be coming through California, by all means, when you're in earshot, swing by San Luis Obispo. It's just absolutely beautiful, and the people are just as beautiful.
it is. Oh, thank you.
Of course, of course, both in mind and spirit.
There are. I ride my bike to work daily. Did this morning, as a matter of fact. And when I'm riding in along the Madonna bike path trail, and you reach a point where there's a little hill, and I can sort of look toward the downtown, and I just think, wow,
Yeah.
like this is by design. This is you have to choose. I had to choose that as my route into work. I had to choose the location where I live and that sort of thing. So I don't always think, oh, I'm so lucky, because I kind of did make it happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you're right. This is just such an amazing spot. All of coastal California, really, we're really lucky. Well, I wouldn't say all of it. There's a couple stretches that I don't know if I necessarily want to be, but
Well, I mean,
in
California is,
general.
it's beautiful. It grows
is.
some of the most amazing food, but traveling around, I'm from Virginia, Arlington, Virginia, and I lived in Colorado a little while, and you find magnificent people, you find beauty really everywhere where you go, as long as you're open to the
The
beauty.
key is looking.
The key is looking, and that's what I think you were talking about the Olive Garden, is that if you're used to going to the Olive Garden and getting the same thing, it's processed to the point where it's going to taste exactly the same. The most successful restaurant in humanity is McDonald's, because you could be in Russia, you could be
Consistency.
in China, and the Big Mac's always going to taste the same because it's processed to be exactly like that. I love going to farmers markets and saying, this tomato is a different tomato than it was last week, and the one next week's going to be different also.
Yeah.
Because it's this exploration. It's such a visceral, lovely quality of being a human being, is going there and then also meeting the people that grow it. And then what I find, when you meet the people that grow it, having worked at farmers markets for over 10 years, you don't just throw it away. You don't just let it rot.
No.
Because if you go to a super mega mart where you can get 30 boneless, skinless chicken breasts,
Right.
if you burn one, you know what? You got 29 more. And those chickens, they probably weren't raised very well. But when you meet the guy that raises the chicken, or the woman that raises the chicken and brings it to you, then it becomes more than just a boneless, skinless piece of flesh. Then it becomes something that's part of your community. And that's what I just love about it.
The only place where the Big Mac doesn't taste the same is in India, where they have a new vegetarian menu. I just read it. Like,
Well, they're not really big in eating cows in different
Right,
parts of
right.
India,
No, I know.
so that's I think
That's-
part of it.
it was just it was a news article that came up like last week or the week before that the first all
The
vegetarian
vegetarian Big
McDonald's,
Mac.
and I was like, wow, well I've never heard of that. But you're right. Other than that one,
That's funny.
so something I get sort of the vibe that you like things that are fresh.
Well, yes. Well, the cookbook that you have in your hand, which
Yes.
is Great Food Starts Fresh. It's a seasonal cookbook. It took me 6 years to complete. I did all the photography on it, and my girlfriend and executive sous chef Sarah Foreman, who's also in the studio with us today, took the photo of me on the front, and she tested every single recipe in my tiny galley kitchen.
now that is dedication.
Well, and it's interesting because when you go to a farmer's market or when you go to the grocery store, like most Americans do, about 75% of most Americans buy from either Walmart or grocery stores, all of their produce. And they don't necessarily know what's in season because we're so separated from seasons because everything's in season in the grocery store.
Right.
You can buy anything anytime. And what I'm saying is, with the book, it makes it a little bit more simple because you can just open to whatever that season is. By the way, there are 5 seasons in my cookbook, and the 5th season is chocolate because that's that is the
That's
universal
great. Yes.
season, right?
That's
It's the
awesome.
universal season.
Well, Chef Nathan Lyon, this book of yours that I'm holding, and that's a weighty book.
That's hefty.
yes.
These are
Yes.
the type of books I love. This one right here can be yours at home or wherever you might be, in the car or on your way up to savor the Central Coast. It'll be a signed version as well. We'll explain how you can win it right after this commercial break when we bring Chef Lyon back to also discuss a bit more of what he'll be doing at Savor the Central Coast, because if you don't win this copy, you can get one up at that event. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network on this Sunday morning. We are back in just a moment. And a very good morning. Great to have you joining us for the final segment now of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio for this final day of September, on the final day of California Wine Month and the final day of Savor the Central Coast here in San Luis Obispo County. If you're listening to us up in Santa Cruz or San Jose, Monterey County, you know, Monterey County and Santa Barbara County wines are featured along with some other things like I believe the Monterey Bay Aquarium has a whole sustainable seafood section there at Savor.
Indeed. I think you're right about that.
Yeah, so it's not just 100% San Luis Obispo County, but that's definitely the focus up there at Santa Margarita Ranch today. But you have plenty of time to drive down and hit the main event. It will be fantastic with all sorts of education is one of the big components there at Santa Margarita Ranch and the Savor event today. A lot of chefs, celebrity chefs, showing you how to do things. And in one case, Chef Nathan Lyon, who joins us in studio right now, he will, and I'm sorry I introduced you right as you were drinking water. He will be teaching people how to source fresh. And I imagine here in California, Nathan, we're a little bit spoiled when it comes to having fresh produce.
Right. But the interesting thing is when you're at a farmer's market or even at the grocery store, what I like to say is Mother Nature has put everything in front of you that you should be eating at that time of the year. So she's pretty smart. She was here well before we were here. Right. She set it all up. And if you don't even know necessarily what you should be eating, just kind of listen to your body. So if it's 95 degrees outside and I say, I'm going to make for you this amazing roast butternut squash risotto with extra cream and extra cheese, you're like, it might be a little heavy.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? So those are all, but butternut squash and Tahitian squash, those are all things in mid-fall. Right now, it's still a little warm, so we're talking about fresh berries still. We're talking about tomatoes, onions, carrots. I mean, all the things that would work together. Like yesterday, I made a wonderful roast eggplant caponata, which is like a
What's a
ratatouille.
caponata?
It's like a ratatouille,
okay.
but it has
Yum.
capers and green olives, a little bit of red pepper flakes, and all those things that go in there
Sounds really good.
grow at the exact same time. So all those foods work really well together.
They just naturally marry well.
They naturally marry well. So when you're going to the grocery store in the middle of winter and you're wondering why those blueberries are $6.50 for a pint, it's because they come from Chile, and you shouldn't be eating them because those are very cooling to the body.
Right.
So if it's hot out, you eat cooling things. If it's if it's cool out, you eat warming things, and those are exactly what Mother Nature puts in front of you during the exact time you should be eating them. It's fascinating.
And these are the sort of things that you'll be teaching at Savor today?
Oh, yes. I'll be preparing two really vibrant things, one of which is a salad. It's an apple fennel salad because apples you can pick apples right now. They're coming into season.
I had a fennel salad for dinner last night at,
Refreshing, right?
Right. What's the name of the place? Sidecar.
Okay.
Yeah, delicious place.
Locally
It was
organic.
fantastic.
Well, I'll also be celebrating the last of watermelon. So I'll be doing a spicy chilled watermelon gazpacho that you make in a
Whoa.
blender. So as far
Yum.
as ease and as far as like teaching people how to pick out a watermelon or how to properly store strawberries, why do my strawberries last almost 2 weeks and most people's a couple days? Those are the things I learned from farmers, and everybody has access to the same farmers and farmers markets that I do. And when you go to a wonderful restaurant and you're like, why is this so good? It's because they source the freshest, most seasonal ingredients that have the most flavor. And you can too. That's the best thing.
You can too. You can
You
too.
can
You
too.
can do it at home. I get sad at the end of watermelon season because
know.
I love fall. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is my favorite season, actually, especially here in California. The fog stays off the coast, and we just really. I think it's the best weather California has for the next couple of months. But I want to have a big slice of watermelon every day. But I do stop eating it. There's a point where I'm like, this doesn't taste right anymore. Okay, so if people can't see you up at Savor today, they can get your tips in your book.
That's right.
Great Food Starts Fresh. And you can get this copy of the book right now if you are, let's see, it's the 4th day of Savor, so we'll take the 4th caller.
Okay.
And here's the number. It's you know what?
855.
It's 855. It's an 800 number. 855, and then it's Randall. But my name is spelled differently.
Randol.
Yes, Randol, and then 8.
The number
like
8.
Randall 8. Then trust me, that's pretty true most of the time. But so it's 855 Randall 8, and I don't know what those numbers are. You know what? Oh, you know what? I do have them here. It's 855 726 3658. So 855 726 3658. If you're the 4th caller. Nate, and I already hear the phone ringing. You'll get this
So keep
personally
trying.
autographed to you, and then we'll figure out how to get it to you. So
And it's such good information. And I like what you were saying earlier, Nathan, that it's, in a way, we're coming full circle. If you talk to old timers, they're kind of like, duh, that's what we've been doing for years.
right, this is how grandparents were cooking originally
That's right.
before
It's-
Velveeta and everything hit the store shelves.
Well, I mean, again, it's like processed food comes at a price. It's very fast, it's very quick. People don't have a lot of time. But the things that I like to share is, for example, even if you went down the street and got a rotisserie chicken, I got no feelings about that. It's usually organic, which is wonderful, but save those bones and get those flaccid vegetables that are in your crisper drawer right now. You can put them all in the pot, a little bit of water, and you made your own stock for free. It doesn't have any corn syrup. It doesn't have any colorings. It doesn't have any extra sugar, nothing like that. And you've already paid for it. So instead of throwing away those old vegetables, you can just throw the chicken bones in there and you made stock. So you're actually saving money, and it's better for flavor and it's better for your health.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the less is more routine. You know,
Right.
people think you have to have a lot of money to eat well. And actually, it's almost exactly the opposite. When I grew up, we didn't have much money at all, and we couldn't afford to go out to eat. So my grandparents, their garden, which is 3 houses down the road, we got a lot of food from the garden, and yet it's like now everyone wants that sort of lifestyle where
Right.
you have your own garden, where you don't have to go out to eat, where you want to eat locally sourced food, and everybody can do that.
Right. And, I was.
You just have to get into that mindset, into that thinking, that routine.
do.
It's a habit. And the thing is, if you usually, wake up and you smoke a cigarette and watch TV, maybe you can have a cup of coffee and go for a walk with your dog. There's your new habit. So it's all about just replacing an old habit for a new habit. And when it comes to cooking, that's one of the reasons why I made this cookbook. And I took all the photographs so you see exactly what it looks like. There's no glue, there's no plastic. I cook it in my little galley kitchen, put it on a table, and take a photo of it. And if you don't win this book, that's okay. Actually, you can get the book and learn more about it through my website, which is chefnathanlyon.com. eatdrinkexplore.com.
It's a great site. I
Thank
went
you
there.
very
Yeah,
much.
I really.
And do we have that
like
link on Eat, Drink, Explore?
We do. And so
Okay.
if you go to the program summary at eatdrinkexplore.com, anyone you heard on the show today, you can find their link right there. And I don't know if Nicole has the information yet, so we can give a shout
For the
out
winner?
to the person. But if we run out of time and can't do that, you will be signing the book, and then
I
you'll
will.
be signing a lot more of them up at Savor later today.
That's right. Savor, the last day, you have a chance to go see Nathan Lyon.
That's right. Hey, Nicole, do we have a winner's name? Oh, it sounds like she's on the phone right now.
Well, I can't wait to sign the book to you. I'm really
Yeah.
excited, and thank you so much for your time, guys. It's just been a pleasure.
Thank you. Fantastic to have you here. Loved having you listen in today. Don't forget, we're here every single week. You can watch this show again at eatdrinkexplore.com. And like we said, get all the links under the program summaries. Make it a great day, everyone, on this final day of September.
You've been listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program.